rise and fall of Hushpuppi. Millions of dollars, countless cars and clothes, and a lavish lifestyle. That's what we tend to see on TV and the internet. And that's what we saw on Hushpuppi's social media accounts, a small corner of the internet where an alleged real estate mogul showed us what success looked like. There's a problem with that though. Hushpuppi doesn't know the first thing about real estate, and his jump from merchant to millionaire was a quick one. And if something seems off there, it's because something was off. From rags to riches to racketeering to a possible prison sentence, and fleeting fame sums up how Hushpuppi lived. But there's a lot that slips through the cracks, especially when you dedicate your life to scamming millionaires. Pay attention to his life and methods, so you may avoid losing lots of money sometime soon. From selling secondhand clothes. Hustlers usually have humble beginnings, and Hushpuppi is not the exception. Coming from a poor town in Nigeria, he never had much, until he had a lot. His father was a cab driver, and he found himself selling secondhand clothes to make ends meet. You may have seen him briefly mention his upbringing if you followed Hushpuppi on social media, but you probably missed it through all the bling and boasting you may have also seen. Quickly and seemingly out of nowhere, this alleged real estate businessman became a millionaire. Several news outlets claim people from his village saw him giving money away, paying for beer, and running a reckless life full of spending and squandering. Others claim he never helped any of his old friends or family after making millions. The only thing nobody could answer at the time was where the money came from, until now. To stealing several $1 million. Nobody knew how much money Hushpuppi had at the time or where it all came from. Everyone agreed it was a lot, and it all appeared too sudden. Some believed the real estate mogul angle. Others saw or at least suspected the lie surrounding a lavish lifestyle. Someone can't make millions of dollars selling secondhand clothes. His cars, clothes, and other controversial showings were worth that alone. And it all made sense when the handcuffs clicked around Hushpuppi's wrists. Ramon Abbas, his real name, was an online scammer who stole millions from people, businesses, law firms, and anyone unlucky to cross his path. His most successful scam landed him $15 million, and he was close to stealing another $100 million from an English football club before his arrest. It glitters, but it's not gold. Let's take a step back and look at the story without spoiling it. A mogul makes millions and posts it on social media. You get to watch how he lives and what he buys alongside an inspirational quote or two. What's so bad about that? Well, not a single thing. He also made sure to position himself as someone important by hanging around with politicians and celebrities boarding helicopters and private jets. Well, that's the thing. He flew too high too soon, and authorities tend to notice something like that. Past a certain point, you draw too much attention, and the police break into your room, arrest you, and take millions in cash from your hotel room. That's what happened to this Yahoo boy not too long ago. A real-life fake Nigerian prince. Online scamming is a billion-dollar industry in Nigeria. Locals have a name for those who dwell on fraud and the criminal underground, Yahoo boys. That name's a little silly, but there's a backstory. Nigerians were quick to create Yahoo email accounts because they were the first company to offer them for free, and soon used them to scam people out of money. That's where the fake Nigerian prince scam comes from. Nigerians would claim to be royals and ask for money to get out of trouble. In exchange, they'd send millions your way when they solved their problems. Of course, that reimbursement would never happen. Hushpuppi took Nigeria's #1 criminal sport to the limit. Experts claim he had a simple scam that allowed him to buy exotic cars, luxury clothes, and countless other things. It took him one small change to make millions. Hushpuppi's simple yet successful scam. Did Hushpuppi use sophisticated methods to scam people? Did he use state-of-the-art technology to siphon sums out of bank accounts? Not really. He took money from people the same way your average Yahoo boy does, using an email account. This successful scammer, alongside a gang of other people who worked for him, would contact people with apparently real emails from important suppliers or banks, which were fake. After impersonating a bank manager or a sales rep, he'd establish rapport and soon ask for money. When the victim realized what happened, the accounts were closed, the money was laundered, and everyone disappeared. What's the difference between Hushpuppi and your average Yahoo boy? Well, Hushpuppi targeted high-profile businesses. While undisclosed, an affidavit shows one Premier League football club was close to transferring more than $100 million to this scammer before his arrest. Rags to riches to racketeering. Do you want to know why Hushpuppi is behind bars? You can forget about fraud and don't think about his fame and fortune. This Hollywood-like tale takes a turn when the FBI realizes a Nigerian criminal is working with North Korean hackers. This world-class scammer tried to launder more than $15 million through a Maltese bank. When authorities got a hold of that, they soon made the connection between Hushpuppi, North Korean hackers, and other international figures. He should have known America loves a hustler, but they sure have a grudge against communists. By the time the American government targeted Hushpuppi, the clock had started to tick. Fortune, fame, and fraud. Fame and fortune didn't draw attention from the feds alone. Other people also started looking at Hushpuppi differently after his money went long. A fantastic example of this happens when this criminal story takes a hip-hop turn, and a Nigerian singer takes several shots at Hushpuppi in a song, which isn't the only one that talks about the scammer. At the same time, several governments started to notice that one man could destabilize an entire economy after the Maltese Prime Minister had to address his nation to avoid a bank run. By the time Hushpuppi's name was all over Nigerian music, government lists, and the news, Interpol was out to get him. His fame and fortune were at their highest point, right before the fall. How much is Hushpuppi worth? It's impossible to know how much Hushpuppi had before his arrest. It could be anywhere from $10 million to hundreds of millions. It wouldn't be far-fetched to think he still had access to plenty of funds via cryptocurrency. Most websites and media outlets report a $30 to $35 million net worth. At the same time, when Interpol arrested him, he had several $million inside suitcases right in his hotel suite. And even if the police arrested him, his entire criminal network continues to operate from the shadows. It wouldn't be crazy to think Hushpuppi is worth at least a couple $1 million, even if he's behind bars. From living lavishly to being behind bars. Switching from silk robes and hotel suites to orange jumpsuits and small cells may be a rough transition, but it's something every high-profile criminal expects. Sure, making millions of dollars and having millions of followers must feel nice, but you can't get a get-out-of-jail card with either. And it's not like Hushpuppi didn't try. After his extradition and a long stay in the American prison system, Hushpuppi's legal defense attempted to get him on house arrest, because a millionaire scammer with an international presence poses no flight risk, right? Of course, Hushpuppi remains in jail to this day. There are several criminal charges against this man, and he may face 15 years in jail if convicted, as well as having to give back every single dollar he stole. Was Hushpuppi found guilty? When the district attorney was ready to show everything he had against Hushpuppi, the Nigerian scammer pleaded guilty, right before the trial began. As part of his legal strategy, the scammer hoped to get a lighter sentence, instead of the 15 to 20 years he would have gotten instead for money laundering and other criminal charges. We still don't know how many years Hushpuppi will face in jail, but we know he has to pay back the money he stole. That makes most of us believe he still has his hands on millions. Whether the money is hidden in cryptocurrency, offshore accounts, or buried somewhere, we don't know. If it were the third option, we'd be trying to buy as many shovels as possible.